From stories across the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nikasa Chandra.
Good evening, I'm Lakshit Singha. We start off by taking a look at the top stories for tonight.
Organizational activities and public life to be restored from Monday. Preparations made to recommence several services, including trade and transportation services. 260 COVID-19 patients recover fully. Another group of over 500 persons who completed quarantine under the care of the security forces return home. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena responds to a number of allegations raised by the opposition.
Now, in your top story this evening, several services including trade and transportation services will be operational from Monday in order to restore organizational activities in day-to-day public life. Now, all measures are being taken upon health guidelines. The Sri Lanka Transport Board has implemented a special plan on operating buses in the Colombo, Gampaha and Kaluthara districts. Thereby 1,400 CTP buses will be deployed for the districts from Monday. Private bus owners have also taken steps to operate private buses from Monday. The Private Bus Owners Association states that buses will be operated maintaining social distancing. Trains will commute from Monday, giving priority to essential services. The Department of Railway states timetables and guidelines need to be followed. Steps have been taken to reopen all expressways from Monday. The expressways can be used by those involved in providing essential services. The Department of Immigration and Immigration will be open for routing services from Monday except on public holidays. The public, when arriving at the Immigration and Immigration Department, are advised to adhere to health and security guidelines mandated when curfew is enforced. A prior appointment needs to be made. Steps have been taken to keep all Satasa outlets open from Monday according to health guidelines. The Colombo Manning Market will be open from Monday for wholesale trading only. The Narayanpeta Economic Centre will also be open from Monday. The Colombo Stock Exchange will recommence trading from Monday. However, share market operations will be restricted to 2 hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. from Monday. Meanwhile, attention has been given to reopen beauty care centres from the 13th of this month. Owners of beauty care centres were educated on the move at a program held at the Kantale PHI office.
The police state that over 50,000 curfew violators have been arrested so far. Curfew will be enforced island-wide until 5 a.m. on Monday. During the 24-hour period from 6 a.m. yesterday to 6 a.m. today, 1,059 curfew violators have been arrested, whilst the number of vehicles seized by the police was 249. The number of curfew violators arrested since the imposition of curfew has been 50,009, whilst the number of vehicles seized by the police during the curfew period has been 12,975. Restoring organizational activities and day-to-day public life activities whilst curfew is in place begins from Monday. However, DIG Ajit Rohana states with effect from Monday, travelling between districts and provinces will be permitted only for those heading for employment. DIG Ajit Rohana states in the Western Province, day-to-day services will be continued whilst curfew is in place from Monday. However, the DIG says that all organizations do not have to function from Monday as before, and guidelines on reopening such organizations that have remained closed for nearly 2 months have been issued. He further stated guidelines on reopening other trade stalls will be relaxed tomorrow. He added movements between districts will be permitted for those heading for work.
ගමන් කළ හැකි වන්නේ එවැනි රැකියා සඳහා පැමිණෙන අයට පමණයි. ඒ සඳහා පොදු ප්‍රවාහන සේවා භාවිත කරන්න පුළුවන්.
The Colombo Fort railway station was disinfected this morning to ensure the health and safety of passengers arriving in Colombo by train. The railway station will be disinfected in this manner for a week with effect from today. Meanwhile, a special camera was fixed today to measure the body temperature of all passengers entering and exiting the Colombo Fort railway station. The camera is able to check the body temperature of 33 passengers within a second, thereby enabling the identification of passengers whose body temperature is high. The number of fully recovered COVID-19 patients discharged from hospitals in the country stands at 260 as of today. Within the past 24 hours, 24 patients were discharged upon fully recovering. 580 patients are undergoing further treatment. 9 newly confirmed cases were detected today, and the infected persons are all Navy personnel. Out of 15 of the fully recovered patients who were discharged today, 6 patients underwent treatment at the Walikanda Hospital, whilst 5 patients were treated at the Iranville Hospital and 3 patients at the Homagama Base Hospital. 1 patient was discharged from the Angoda IDH Hospital. Meanwhile, 5 Navy personnel, including the naval officer who is from the Polonnaru area and was the first sailor to test positive for the virus, were also discharged upon full recovery. Thereby, the number of fully recovered COVID-19 infected Navy personnel to be discharged from hospitals was 21 as of today. 11 newly confirmed cases were detected yesterday. Director General of Health Services Consultant Dr. Anil Jasinghe says the 11 patients are all Navy personnel attached to the Valisara Navy camp. Meanwhile, 1,821 PCR tests were carried out yesterday, and it is the highest number of PCR tests done within a day. Director General of Health Services Consultant Dr. Anil Jasinghe says 717 tests were done on the field, and when conducting PCR testing, attention is being mainly focused on the areas where the infected Navy persons visited. In addition, the Director General states testing is done at a considerable level on several groups in the Colombo area. He added 207 tests were done at quarantine centers. Dr. Jasinghe also states currently COVID-19 positive patients are not being reported from Bandaranaike Mawatha, Colombo 12 and Dabare Mawatha Narahempita. Thereby, the Director General of Health Services says these lockdown areas can be opened after a few days. Obtaining biosamples to identify COVID-19 contracted persons in the Colombo area was underway today as well. Thereby, biosamples for PCR testing were obtained at the MOH office in the Jintupiti area. Biosamples for PCR testing were also obtained from the Vallampitiya, Kotuvila and Kalani Nadigama. 533 persons who completed their quarantine at quarantine centers run by the Army and the Navy left for their homes today. The group included 75 persons from the Poonani Quarantine Center, 62 persons from the Kandakadu Quarantine Center, 298 persons from the Vidattapalai Quarantine Center, 80 persons from the Ayakachi Quarantine Center, 5 persons from the Diyatalava Holiday Resorts, 12 persons from the Busa Quarantine Center, and 1 person who completed quarantine at the Quarantine Center at the Waikal Dolphin Hotel. 377 persons who were sent to quarantine from the Bandaranaike Mawatha area at Keselwatta in Colombo returned to their homes today. They were sent to quarantine after COVID-19 infected patients were detected in the area recently. Upon being discharged from their quarantine center, they will undergo 14 days of self-quarantine. A girl child who was sent for quarantine to the Elephant Pass Quarantine Center celebrated her birthday yesterday with the security personnel at the facility. She, together with her family members, had been sent to the Elephant Pass facility for quarantine from the Keselwatta area. Attention has been focused on utilizing the university hostels constructed at Pitipana Homagama as quarantine centers if necessary. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena engaged in an observational visit of the hostels yesterday. These 2 hotels consist of 300 and 100 bedrooms each. Now, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says the President and the government have carried out monetary activities according to the powers vested with them. The minister expressed these views speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today in response to allegations voiced by the opposition.
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that after Parliament is dissolved,
all monetary powers of the parliament are legally vested with the president by the constitution. He says that this is the truth that the opposition needs to understand. Dr. Gunawardena says that the situation pertaining to state finances when a parliament is active and when a parliament is dissolved is entirely different. He says that if the president regards that a particular sum is necessary for state services, at that point no one can influence the president.
Now on to more local stories. Devout Buddhists generally do not favor discarding broken Buddha statues found at their homes or elsewhere. This is due to utmost reverence to the Buddha. Now a meritorious ceremony of cremating such Buddha statues was reported. Broken Buddha statues at residences and other locations in the Ambalipitiya area were collected at the Ambalipitiya Bodhi Rajadhamma Institute upon guidance of Venerable Omape Somidathera. The collection of dilapidated Buddha statues were cremated yesterday after various puja to mark the Buddha's attainment of parinibbana were offered.
And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.